welcome to another episode of In the Mix, where we have a nice little chat exploring an artist's career and journey. And today I have with me the part-time neo-soul artist, but full-time neo-soul alien. No, I said it wrong.
No,
Did I say it? No, I said it right.
right.
No, I said it right. Okay, so still on Earth, everyone. Okay. So, do we give a disclaimer? No, we don't need to do a disclaimer. This is my best friend, everyone. So, like, you know, this is going to be a very fun episode. To unfortunate. Wow. Well, this is going to be a very fun episode. But how we do is we just jump straight into it. So, first question, get ready, get strapped in. So looking back on your journey, what was your first encounter with music? Like, what was your first ever musical memory?
So, I've been singing since I was 2.
Oh.
Yeah, my first... So this isn't actually my memory, but it's a story that's told. It could be a complete lie. From what I know, I was like, I think like 18 months old or something like that. And my first full sentence was, "Everybody watch me." I jumped on top of like the ottoman in the front room and I said, "Everybody watch me." And I started singing Umbrella by Rihanna.
All songs.
Yeah, can you imagine? But yeah, I started singing that, and then from there, I've just been a diva.
Okay, so what led you to study music at college?
Do you know what? I actually forgot this, but I found my year 6 yearbook the other day, and it actually said in there that I wanted to be a singer and a doctor. So I don't know how those two were going to coincide. Yeah. So yeah, singing has always been a big part of my life. Music has been a huge part of my life. But then when I went to, this is kind of a long story, but when I went to high school, I kind of struggled with seeds, not the real shebang. The real shebang, but seeds of imposter syndrome. So I kind of was like,
we're getting there.
No. I was like, no, like I'll be a doctor. So I was going to be a pediatric neurologist for ages because I wanted to help people. I love kids and brains really fascinate me, as you know. But I just did not have the motivation for it because it's not what I wanted to do. And you know me, I'm very much a planner, sometimes to a fault. So at 14 years old, telling myself you're going to be a pediatric neurologist, it just wasn't working. So then lockdown hit and I was like, I don't want to be a pediatric neurologist. And I was like, well, what am I going to do? Because I'm 14 years old and I need to know exactly what I want to do right now.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was like, okay. I went for a few things. I was going to be a costume designer at one point. I was going to do... I think that was it. But there was some other stuff that I was thinking about doing. And then I was like, no, that's not it. And then I was like, okay, I've always loved musicals, especially musicals and acting and music and stuff. But musical theatre was very exciting for me because I always loved acting and I loved singing. And I love musical theatre in general. Like, Wicked is my favourite thing in the whole wide world.
It's crazy that it's Wicked that's your favourite one.
It's because it's the first... No, but the story is so romantic and nostalgic. That's why I love it. I love it. Like, I actually, like, have a soul connection to that movie. I was sitting there crying in the period. But no, yeah, so I was going to do musical theatre, and then... So my mum sent me to Sylvia Young.
You went?
For a summer school
program.
Okay.
I was like...
We did not have Sylvia Young money. Don't get twisted. But she sent me to Sylvia Young for a summer school. And when I was there, I made friends with this lovely girl from Liverpool. She was a dancer. And in one singing lesson, this one singing teacher I sang to him and he was like, "You're really good. You should go to Brit school." And I was like, really? Wow. And my friend, and this is why I always talk about this girl, because it's so crazy how God will put things in a line to make it work, because I didn't even say anything about it. My friend went up to Ashton, who's in...
crazy.
What's that band called again?
Absent Mind.
Absent Mind.
Yeah,
He's an Absent Mind right now. She went up to Ashton and she was like, guess what? She was told that she should go to Brit school. And he was like, yeah, you should go to Brit school or ELAM. And I was like, oh, what's ELAM? And I went home that day and I researched ELAM and I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna apply and I'm gonna see what happens. So it was really a thing to me of, if I got in, I would go to ELAM and I would do music. Or if I didn't get in, I would go to a normal sixth form and then go to acting school in America for musical theatre. Then I would do musical theatre. And I got into ELAM and I haven't looked back.
They really are very similar. Anyways.
Yeah. Every artist, I feel like every artist has the theatre pipeline. Like, it's actually...
Nah, I hear it.
It's a canon event.
So now that we're on to college, right? So how would you describe your college experience and what it did for your self-esteem? Like, think about the whole 2 years.
Hard but needed. Hard but needed. Yeah, so I had a lot of things that I needed to work on in myself, and ELAM from the jump exposed all of those things.
Yeah.
Like, I was in high school. I went to a predominantly white school. I had issues with like friendships and stuff like that. So I spent a lot of time feeling very alone and kind of suppressing the beautiful parts of myself. You know me, I love an inner child, and all that, but I was not looking after her in that way. So I think when I look back at it, I definitely was depressed in secondary school. I just didn't know it, and I knew I was anxious. That was not a question. Well, I knew but anyway, yeah, it was, my mental health was not good. So when I went into ELAM, I got put on the waiting list, was the first thing. That was the canon event. I was put on the waiting list for one day. And I don't know why it hurt me so much, because Sienna Spiro, who was now doing amazing, was also put on the waiting list for one day. So it really wasn't that big of a deal. But for me, it was the end of the world. It was, I'm not good enough. So there was, my first year consisted of the craziest depression and imposter syndrome I've ever dealt with. And I think nothing I would ever wish on a 16, 17-year-old girl. But in that time, I really broke down everything I had built up in myself as a coping mechanism. And I just binned it all. And I started again from the person that I was. So without that, I wouldn't be who I am today. I wouldn't be as resilient, as happy, as like so willing to give love and accept love and all of these things as I am now. So it was really hard, but in that I was really able to find myself and my sound. So without that, I wouldn't have that. Like, I literally doubled my mental health journey with writing and creating, and out of that, not only did I get a project, but I got like beautiful friends who for one of the first times in my life genuinely love me and support me and look out for me and all of that. And you know, I like fixed relationships, or started fixing relationships with my family and stuff like that. So yeah, those 2 years were the biggest gift and the biggest hurdle I ever had to go through, but I'm so grateful for it.
All I'm gonna say is Project 6. You know who you are.
Project 5, more like. And that one broke us down.
6.
Really?
No, you're forgetting. 5, you were chilling. It was 6.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it's Project 6.
FMP 6, no?
No, that's 7.
There was a 7?
Yeah, Project 7. We're moving on.
Okay, cool. That's Project 6.
Well,
yeah, well, then Project 6.
Project 6. But
you know who you are.
So your earliest musical influences, who were they, and how did it shape your sound today?
See, I always say that I grew up with stupid amount of music in my house.
Must be nice.
Sorry. It was nice. I grew up with so much music. Both my mum and my dad are huge music lovers. Like over 200 vinyls in my
true.
Alone. And it's completely different music. So I'm kind of a chameleon, like in most senses. I'm a chameleon in that sense of I take inspiration from everyone. Like I grew up with Raphael Sadiq and Brandy and the biggest R&B artists. But then I also grew up with Queen, and me and my dad used to rock out to me and my dad and my sister used to rock out to Bohemian Rhapsody all the time. But then my uncle was really into the Smiths, so his daughter was really into like Arctic Monkeys and Melanie Martinez, and I really wanted to be friends with her, so that's how I picked up Melanie Martinez. But then my mum and dad both really loved reggae, so I grew up with a lot of lovers rock and stuff like that. And then my mum is Gambian born and raised, so I grew up with a lot of Afro beats and stuff like that. Just like stupid amount of music. I also wanted to be really close to my sister, and obviously she was born in 2000, growing up in the 2010s. So all of that pop music that was coming in, I was listening to that. So I really just love music to my core. I love all different kinds of music. So I do just take things that my ear loves. And I think that's why there are so many different... I can't really say, like, my main inspirations are obviously Cleo Sol, Lauryn Hill and Erykah Badu, because those are the three that I listened to when I was honing my sound. But I really do take inspiration from everybody and everything. I take inspiration from you. I take it, like, I can't remember what it was the other day, but I listened to something, or I wrote something, and I was like, this is such a great
song.
Like, she would write this, she would love this. But like, yeah, I take inspiration from everybody and everything.
So if you look back on the moment when you decided, okay, I'm gonna take music seriously as a career, what do you think, like, what headspace were you in that inspired you to do that?
It's a good question.
Thanks.
Good question, Ismail. I don't know. I think, when did I decide I wanted to take it seriously? I just think it was once I started feeling better in my mental health journey. I just realised that there was nothing that was going to, and there was nothing that could have pulled me through everything I just went through like music did. And I never wanted to put myself in a position where I wasn't happy again, because that's really what high school was for me. It was just survival mode to the fullest, to the point where I didn't even realise what I was feeling. And I just realised that music was what I wanted to do. I just loved it, and it made me want to push myself, and it made me want to get out of my comfort zone. And I never wanted to not live a life like that again. Because I just think about that little girl, that little child, who she was so extroverted. She was so just love and light and pure. And she would sit there and be like, do it. Do it. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to do it for you then, innit? So I think that must have been the catalyst. It was just, I want to make myself proud for the rest of my life. And the only way I'll do that is if I never regret or say, what if? So I'm doing it.
So can we listen to Everflow?
Yes. Oh my God. This is the first song I ever wrote when I was 17. And this
17.
song, can I just give it a quick...
Yeah, go.
Because this song is weird to me. Like, it's crazy, because when I wrote it, I was writing it to my future self. But now I listen to it, I genuinely, like... I channeled my future self writing to me then, because if I listen to what I'm saying, those were all things I actually needed to hear at that moment. And when I hear it now, I'm like, whoa, like, that was me now writing to that girl who was so scared and unsure and didn't know what was going on. So this is, like, I've written so many better songs since, but this will always be my favourite song that I've ever written.
Come on, Everflow.
Is it right? Yeah. This song has not been remixed or mastered. My baby. I just think about it. Like, do you remember when we were in, like, musicianship?
Oh gosh.
And I was, like, trying to perform this song, but the social anxiety was so bad that I couldn't even normally turn around. see when you're out of his life. And I won't call the earth to try to explain why I'm not my mind. No, I've been searching for it my whole life. And I've been chasing things when they ain't mine. Slow down, slow down. So far removed from yourself. Yourself. New thoughts, new health. And blessings they follow as well. As well. I've listened to this song a while. I am in control. I am in control. Feel it in your bones, now you feel it in your body. Working on your soul as your eyes close and your heart beat. I'm in control. I am in control.
You have to pause halfway. I'm sorry.
That's fine. The rest is all voice now anyway.
Oh yeah.
Little baby me just talking rubbish.
Do you like the vinyl sound in your music now, or does it annoy you?
No, I love it.
Okay.
I love it. I'm a vinyl lover.
Hear
like
it.
as a kid, one of the first things I learned how to do was use my dad's vinyl machine, so I wouldn't ruin all of his expensive
stuff.
Vinyls. Like vinyls, I cannot wait until the part of my career where I can start like giving my music to people through vinyls. So I don't know. I like it. It just gives me that retro vibe. I feel clever.
Sick. I feel vintage.
I feel clever.
So over time, how would you say your understanding of your artistic identity, how has it evolved over time?
Really naturally. Which I like. I feel like, I don't think I ever sat down and was like, I'm going to make myself like this other like alien persona. It really just came with the development of me as a person.
Yeah.
I was going through therapy with the amazing
Shout out to
Faye.
Faye.
So we both know very well. Oh my gosh. She saved my life. We love Faye.
Yeah, we love Faye.
But I was going through it with her and she just kind of looked at me and was like, babe, I know what Cam said, but I think you're neurodivergent. And I was like, I know, right? That's what I've been saying.
Yeah.
And when that happened, I was like, I kind of just realised that I did feel like an alien my whole life to family sometimes because of where I was born in like the family line. All my cousins are either really older than me or a lot younger than me. I have no cousins my age, so I kind of grew up by myself in that sense because all the older cousins, they don't want the little one running around. Or I would hang out with the younger cousins because I love like kids and stuff like that. But yeah, so I felt like an alien there sometimes, and friends, I felt like an alien there. So that kind of just became a thing. Saasil On Earth, she's an alien, and obviously, it kind of just came from there. But I just feel like it kind of grew. Yeah, it grew. I can't remember what the actual question was. I think I went on a tangent, but
it was. Oh yeah, how's your artistic identity evolved?
Yeah, how has it evolved? Yeah, it just evolved very naturally. I didn't really pick. I think at one point I was wondering whether what I wanted for myself, and when I kind of decided that I wasn't too fussed on being this mega superstar, like huge thing, then I was like, I think one of the most beautiful things about myself is exactly who I am. So I'm just going to make my branding around who I am. So I try to at least be authentic in who I am as my branding. and I just keep it like that. Cecile the alien is kind of showing you that you are an alien too, and we can all feel like aliens sometimes, but that's sick. And the whole thing of being an alien is just being exactly who you are, and there is no one else like you, so you in that sense are an alien.
Hear it.
And that's it.
Talk that tea.
And that's my branding, I guess. I'm just a person. I'm just a girl. That's my branding.
So let's get into creative process of making the music. Okay, so I want to like actually get nerdy like about it when it comes to writing.
Yeah.
So obviously you're weird and you write in a book.
Yeah.
You don't write in a phone like the rest of us. But like, because you don't really play many instruments, so like when you write music, do you need a producer in the room? Do you like to write to beat? What is the situation when you do like to create?
I think I do. I know some people. I don't know. Again, shout out to Lorna, but I know, you know, there's times where she was like right before you have music or something like that.
Oh no, I'm sorry, I didn't like
personally.
Yeah, all of
I'm
that turn your poem into
that
music.
Person,
Yeah.
Because for me, my music has so much to do with the music.
Yeah.
I always say my favorite songs are songs where me and the bass have a conversation. I think in my nerdy brain, the bass and the vocals are often like the best songs are when they're often intertwined with each other, and then like keys and guitar are intertwined, and then drums are their own thing. So I often do like to do that. Obviously, I don't think I've ever probably thought about that, because obviously my executive producer is my partner. So he often is there when I write. I mean, he's often making the beat as I write. Like we actually made a song yesterday, and he was just playing it as I wrote. But that's what I love about this EP, because this EP was the first time where I did write songs and I wrote the guitar for the songs, because I'm learning guitar and I'm getting there. And I'm actually like a secret whiz on the bass. But I only when I produce them. But yeah, so that this EP was the first time where I did get to write my actual songs to guitar and stuff like that. Yeah. But it really just is it's a conversation between me and the music, trying to get a story out there. So I do like to write to music, definitely.
In terms of like collaborating with people right now, do you see yourself down the line having writers in the room, or do you see yourself like, obviously we already know with the working with other producers thing, it will come in due time.
I'm actually working with some really I'm in conversation.
Okay, it sounds sorry.
But I think definitely having writers in the room could be something I'm open to, just because...
That sounds so fake.
Let me land. Because I think I like working with people. I that's why I struggle to work with producers, because the way I like to work with people is kind of a lost art. A lot of producers like
send you the beat and
send one beat and that's it. And they move on. I'm a let me learn you, let you learn me, let's understand, let's build something together, let's make something. So I think that's why I work with my boyfriend a lot, because we've already done that for so long. And I think it would be similar for songwriters. I mean, if they really understood like my writing and stuff like that, of course I would love to get songwriters in, because sometimes you can get so stuck in your head and doing the same cycles. But I am very I'm very protective. Like, I'm stupidly protective over my music. So I would be down for it as long as there's like this trust in the room. I would never want to be thrown in a room with someone who, like, you know, listened to my song for 10 minutes on the bus and then was like, listen, this is what we're going to write. I would love someone who, like, properly loves neo soul and, like, wants to add something new to it, because I worked a lot on my writing. I think I'm a pretty good writer. So it's like, if I was getting that help, I would just want it to be, you know, someone who can really add to...
elevate the craft.
Not just someone who
It's taking 20%.
Would like a split. But I'm always down to work with new people. I'm always down to work with new people.
Okay, so if we're moving on to still collaboration, but the team. I love asking this question about what's the next step in who you want in the team, right? And so let's ask that question first. If we're going to pick one person that's going to get added to the Saasil team, what is the person? Like, what's the role?
Management.
Are you hearing?
Do you know what? This independent thing is...
this independent scoop.
It's rewarding. It is rewarding, but it's hard. It's really hard. And I think there's just sometimes where you just want someone to be like, okay, you take care of this.
Yeah, and I'll take care of this.
I'll take care of this. And I'm really proud of myself. I think I've really achieved a lot in the time that I have been independent. But I think sometimes having to juggle everything can actually hinder like your creativity.
I agree.
So I feel like I would love to have... Pardon. Is this alright? I feel like I would love to have, you know, just help in that area. Someone to just also get me through some doors. Like being an independent artist is hard for that thing. You're just constantly...
Do you think I want to go to all the networking events?
Do you know what I mean? And you're constantly just pounding at doors that sometimes you just don't know how to get into.
Yeah.
And I'm trying my best, but I just think having someone who would be able to help me kind of elevate. I feel like I had Tanya from ELAM, who we also love.
Yeah.
She said something to me once that was really interesting. She was like, because I always thought you get management when the workload is too much, which is also important.
This is the tea. This is the oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. The
workload is too much, but she said something. She was like, you also get management when you feel like you've taken yourself as far as you can go.
Hear it.
If you feel like you have done everything that you can and you need an elevation,
Hear it.
that's also a good time to kind of bring management and stuff like that in there. And I was like...
I guess I haven't yet.
Yeah, no, to be honest, I feel like I'm getting there. I feel like I am getting there. I feel like I am getting to the point where I kind of have exhausted all of
the options
what I can do. So I feel like I would love to bring someone in who is able to be like, hey, you know, I know this person. Let me introduce you at least, or something like that. Just kind of get me into rooms that I can't really get myself into myself.
But that's the tea that actually I wanted to get into. That this whole like, oh, you'll know when you need a manager. That like when the workload is too much, then you'll know. The workload is too much. Where's the manager?
Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
Why is he not dropped down from the earth yet? Like I don't understand. Like it's already too much. Like okay, so if the manager was to come, what are the attributes that manager needs to have?
I would love a manager who had their foot in the industry.
Oh, you don't want to do the whole me and you come
grassroots. I mean,
she's like, grassroots.
No, I don't mean it like that. But I mean, I would love to, but it's just, I feel like I need help on the industry side. That's why I think about it more that way.
Hear it.
I think I do. I think I would really benefit from having someone who can just connect me to the people that I need to be connected to, because I always say I have the music, and when people hear the music, they fucks with the music. So it's like, I feel like I have part of the package. I just need people to hear it. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like I would need someone who has a step into the industry, someone who like messes with the freedom that I like to bring into my career. I don't really like stay in one genre very often. You know this, I am a genre chameleon. I got too many different genres that I play with, so I feel like I'd be really gutted if someone came and was like,
R&B,
stick to it. I'd be like, but this jazz joint, right? It just sounds so cool. So yeah, someone who like likes the idea of just like having that freedom in creativity, and is able to kind of match me with an audience that messes with that, instead of trying to match me with an audience that messes with one thing. Because I mean, I'm an audience who messes with like that free flowing music, so there has to be more people out there like me. Do you know what I mean? I'm just cool, innit? Like, I would love to have a manager that I actually like got along with.
Yeah, no, yeah, no. Oh,
Yeah.
a friend.
A friend.
I
Call you up.
you.
What are you doing today? I just got a bit bored.
Yeah,
How
yeah,
are you?
wait.
But you know I'm not a caller anyway, so like I want to.
We're not even getting into that
Yeah.
tea. Anyways, so the other side of music, social media, marketing, photo shoots, does it drain you or does it feel like another? No, because I feel like some people think it's like an extension of the artistry, where some people feel like, oh, you know, like I get to create more. Do you feel like it drains you or does it feel like an extension?
Photo shoots, I love them. Like my being able to think up, like the creative, that was another thing of management, going back to the last question, that I like someone who is able to help me where I need, but also bring me into the stuff that I do enjoy doing, because the creative design of stuff I do really enjoy, like coming up with unclassified merch ideas or like or like, you know, like coming up with the cover for the EP and stuff like that was a huge labor of love. And the and 530 as well, even Free as a Bird, like they were all huge labor of love. So I really enjoyed coming up with that bit. The social media stuff, I'm just not a social media girl. I'm not, and I'm doing the best I can, but I'm forcing myself. I'm just not a social media person like that. I mean, I'm definitely better just because I changed my idea on what social media is. Before I used to see it as a job, whereas now I just see it as my personal blog. So like, if I want to talk about the fat nap I had the other day, like I'm gonna post a story being like, I had a fat nap today. So that has made it easier. But I definitely, the marketing side, when I'm coming to release, it is the most stressful part. The content days.
The content
and the editing, but like the most stressful thing of releasing is really just the admin in general.
Yeah.
Do you know on DistroKid you have to sync the lyrics yourself? Like you have to sit there and press the button. Don't deep my lyrics too much because they're not very synced. They're skipping all over the place. But the admin of releasing is dreadfully painful.
Yeah.
But all of it is to fuel the life that I want for me and my partner and my kids and stuff like that. So I'll do it, I guess.
Okay, so what's the next song that you want to play?
Oh,
Mrs. DJ.
Okay, it's either 530 or Free as a Bird. You decide.
Free as a bird.
Free as a bird. Free as a bird.
Can you give a bit of context to the song?
Of course you can. So this is my first release. I wrote it when I was 17. 17 was a good year for music. I wrote 530 when I was 17. And real. 17 was a good year for music. But I wrote it when I was 17. This story is really about my relationship with God, and kind of looking everywhere but at God for validation. And it is a conversation between me and God, kind of just him being like, babe, I'm right here. When you need me, I'm right here. And me just being like, yeah, but like, I just want this so bad. And he's like, I know, I'm right here. So this is kind of, this song I hold so dear to my heart. Like, I literally just released it because I was like, if I don't release it now, I don't see another place where it can be. I'm not really too much of a random single person, but I was just like, I'm going to put this song out because it means the world to me. So I'm sure someone will enjoy it. Aww. It's a bit long, but all my songs are long, so. All my songs are really swing songs. 4 from 530.
No, Hooked is not swing.
Being on here has actually made me realise how little I like listen to my music once I release it.
Really?
Like once I release it, I'm like, oh, I love that song. My little baby. If you hear it, like, don't you think that like the difference in such a short time between this song and the EP, like I've actually developed, and that's so crazy. Like releasing music is really just like a public diary. Do you know what I mean?
I agree.
It's so cool.
Oh, well, God bless this master. It's gonna be okay.
You know what I mean? Little baby.
It's gonna be okay.
Grassroots.
Okay, so now I want to get into live performances, right? So as an artist, I feel like this discussion that we always have of the battle of the grassroots performances versus the my show versus performances. So I want to understand what's your psyche on how you like manage the. Oh, let me not call out certain shows. Actually, I was about to say names, but like,
I know you were talking about
that one and that one, like and the other
those
one.
Ones.
Yeah, the shows where there's 10 men on the lineup, you know, like
I get what you're saying. The songs where it's like multiple, the shows where it's multiple people.
There's people on the lineup and it's grassroots and the audience, and it's a very much
prove to yourself. Yeah,
how
they're all a part of the journey, aren't they? I used to. I again thank them so much for like helping me push myself, because without some of those performances I really would not have. I struggled really badly with performance anxiety, and it's only like now after my most recent performance where I can like truly say struggled, where before I used to say I struggle, and I wouldn't say I don't get nervous, but it's only right now where I can really say I've got to the point where I feel like I'm getting past it and I'm kind of moving away from it, but I really did struggle with them. So I remember the times, especially when I finished college, and those, you know, messages will pop into my DM. Oh, we want you to perform here or perform there. Those are really exciting. So I think preparing for them, it's really just a thing of reminding yourself that you don't need to prove yourself. You're doing it to grow. I think I do a lot of those performances for growth and in a like non-disrespectful way at all, but like practice.
Yeah.
You have to practice somewhere. So part of proving yourself is practicing in front of these people, and if you practice well, you'll get new people who will come to your shows, and if it doesn't go well, then you move on. Lord knows I've had some that have not gone well, but you move on, and that's the great thing about it. It's not the Grammys, it's not this, that and the other, where your whole career is staking on it, but you know your whole career is not staking on anything anyway. But like, it's really just practice. So those ones, they are important, especially at the start of your career. Obviously the time where you get to kind of move on to having your own shows is a gift in itself. But yeah, they're definitely useful. They're definitely useful.
So now moving on to, let's talk about EP launch. I want to just know that, because I actually don't know the behind the scenes of what went into prepping it. So I want to know from start to end. I mean, we don't have 2 hours, but
I'll keep it snappy.
But I want to know what went into, because you did it. Well, you didn't do it all yourself. You did have like a promoter, but like you did it as an independent artist with no manager.
Yeah. And the launch or the
launch.
Yeah, the launch party.
We'll go into the EP, but the launch.
The launch party. Oh my God. So I had it actually started I had the idea to do it, but fear made me keep it a maybe. I was like, oh, I might do it. And everyone I spoke to at the time, I was in the In the Making Inside Track Artist Development Program. And whenever I'd speak to anyone about it, I'd be like, oh, I might do it. And they'd be like, do it.
Oh.
Do it. Take that maybe out. And I'm like, maybe. And then I even spoke to Tanya from college about it, and she was like, do it. But I kept it a maybe for a few reasons. I was scared for one. I didn't know where the money was going to come from for two. And then as well, things with the EP were, I didn't know where to start for three. And things with the EP were, at the time, kind of a shambles, and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to juggle all of that. But then my drummer Eddie, he messaged me and he was like, oh, I would love to like get a band together for you for if you ever need a performance.
Oh, that's sweet.
And I was like, sure. Little me? Okay.
Was this after October?
No, this is before. This is like September maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, this is September. So he messaged me. He was like, yeah, I'd love to put a band together. I was like, okay. So he sent me people to talk to and like asked if they would be a part of it.
Okay.
And one of the people I asked was my promoter,
Aww.
Eve. I was like, would you be
So you didn't know Eve before?
No, I didn't, but I had stalked her because I liked her singing and I liked her style. So I knew she existed, but I hadn't spoken to her. But then I messaged her and I was like, oh, would you like to do BVs for my band? And she was like, yeah, that's fine. I also do like, I'm also like doing event management. Event management at the moment. So if you want to do an event at any point, just let me know. And I was like, well, actually, I've kind of been thinking about doing an EP launch. But it's still, even when I messaged her about it, she was like, yeah, that's sick. Yeah, I could definitely do that. It was still a maybe. I think it came to the point of around November maybe. And I was just like, do you still want to do it? And she was like, yeah. And the band had been formed, but we hadn't had any rehearsals or anything like that. So I was like, okay, let's do it. So I messaged them. Everyone was like, yeah, like, let's do it. And I was like, okay, we'll reconvene in January to learn the songs. This is at the point where the EP was maybe about 4 songs. The EP was 8 songs. So getting together in January, knowing that the show was in February, was stressful. But honestly, I would not have been able to do it without my band and without Eve in specific, because she really just took control of the things I didn't know how to do and was just like, okay, the venue's asked this, like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And me and her also just clicked. Like, that's my girl. Like, she's born the day after me. Well, she's 2 years older than me, but she's born the day after me. So, like, we're very similar. And we just got along, and me and my band just got along. You know, I was meeting so many different Elam alumni or, like, alumni adjacents. So...
Alumni adjacent is crazy.
Yeah, because Kion didn't actually go to Elam, but he's an alumni adjacent. Yeah. But yeah, and yeah, it was difficult. It was very stressful doing it. But again, like, being a independent artist is very stressful, but it's very rewarding. Yeah. When I stood on that stage and like literally looked at what me and Eve did, I was just like, this is insane. Like, to think I pulled this off, sold it out and pulled it off.
Yeah, like, that's insane.
But yeah, so that's kind of how it happened. It was a maybe until it was a yes, and then when it was a yes, there was no going back. Yeah.
And so when you kind of compare that moment of being on a stage of a show that is my name on the bill, other than like 10 man on the bill, what is that?
There is nothing like it. There is nothing like it. I cannot wait for the next one. Oh my gosh, it's an amazing experience to know that everybody in this room is there to support you. Yeah. And is there because they like what you're doing or love what you're doing. It's amazing. Like, as I said, I've struggled with performance anxiety in the past, and I always used to say to you, do you remember I used to say, I feel like when I have my own show and I have people there in the room, it would be different. And it was. I stood in there and I had no fear. I was enjoying, I was making jokes, I was dancing, do you remember? And I cannot wait to, like, it just showed me a glimpse of what I'm doing this for. Yeah. That aspect of performing is different to anything else. I'll continue with my grassroots because it's important, and having a space for independent artists is such a gift, and I love all those grassroots performances and appreciate them for making a space for independent artists, but there's nothing like having your own show at all. I'm so happy that I put that on for myself. Yeah.
Come on. Independent.
Thank you.
So if we circle back to the EP, this original version of 530, right? Because I was like, why she put the original on?
Did I put the original?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even know that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, put the first
demo.
I'm gonna understand the first demo because this demo, I can't lie to you. I'm not gonna
Do you
lie.
know what?
This
But
not good.
the other guy who was the original producer, he actually, when we released it, he was like, yeah, the new version's sick, but I actually quite like the demo. It had something else in it. I'm like,
No.
I respect you. I respect it.
No.
But respectfully, I disagree.
No, it's the demo.
I didn't know I put in that
it's the demo.
version. Oh, wow. That version didn't even have a second verse.
Oh.
Yeah. And that's why if you listen to it, you can hear that the writing from the first verse and the second verse is completely different.
Yeah.
Because by the time I wrote the second verse, I had so much more confidence in my voice. Do you remember I used to be a strict slow singer? That's why the first verse is changing. You start such manners and such graces. Because I wouldn't sing fast. While the second goes, I leave you stand together. It's like I'm just moving and I'm just enjoying it. But yeah, I didn't even know I put the first version in. I didn't know I put the demo in.
Because I've never heard the demo, you know.
Did you know?
It's not that bad. It's not that bad. I took it. It's not that bad. But it's not 5:30. It's not. So the EP, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's some bits of it that I think we need to talk about. Like, we don't have to talk about anyone's names because we don't have to draw anyone out yet. But I think there are bits of it that would be great to discuss.
Mm-hmm.
The delay,
Yeah.
the creation process,
Yeah.
and the managing everything. Let's talk about it. So the EP was supposed to come out when?
31st of January.
No, before.
October 18th. You reminded me, October 18th
And
was the
it came
original
out-
day. February 14th, Valentine's Day.
So are you happy, looking back at
Yeah.
it now, that it came out February 14th? Or do you still low-key wish it came out October 18th?
No, I'm happy. I'm happy that it came out February 14th. Everything happens for a reason, and I think it just wouldn't have... It would have been able to be done if circumstances didn't happen, but it wouldn't have been what it was. Everything happens for a reason, so I am grateful that it came out February 14th. Yeah, different projects would have come out on the 18th.
Yeah.
A completely different project, and one, I think, a lot less mature, because I would have made it a lot earlier.
Hear it. So for your next project, what about that whole process of the delay, all the circumstances that happened? What did it actually like teach you from that process? Because there was a lot of tears. Let's not.
There
lie,
were
let's
a
not
lot
front.
of tears. There were a lot of tears. I think I always have kept music quite internal. Like, I like to handle business within people that I already trust. And that's why so many tears were shed with, you know, it not coming out on the 18th and whatever because of what happened. But I think it has just... that happening really just put me in gear to take a lot more control over things like that. I mean, I'm lucky because my next project is already written.
Oh, scoop.
It's already written. And it's so that part of it is already done. It's just more about the final touches and stuff like that. But really it's just time. You need a lot of time, and I think investing. I used Roundhouse to record most of this EP.
Yes.
And
no, this is a good.
no, Roundhouse is an amazing place, and I really respect them for what they're doing. But the fact is, recording where I did in Roundhouse did unfortunately affect the sound of my EP. So going forward, I will pay the money and get a studio.
No, I actually deeped it. That where I was taking you, I'm sorry, I did you dirty. There are nicer places.
All right, well, we'll be going there. But like, yeah, I think it will just be more of just time and investment. I think I did a lot for what I had.
100%.
But with this next project, I want to go harder.
There we go.
Period.
And that's on per. Okay. So, how do you personally define success in terms of your career long term?
Success to me is leveling up every time I do something. I have this thing that I say that every positive movement is equals positive action. So if everything I do is leveling me up, that to me is a success. I never want to stay at the same place. Long term, I want to get out of the UK. That's what we were just talking about. I don't want to live in London. I don't want to live in the UK. I want to go back to the motherland. I want to be around my people and around the sun. The way that I thrive in the sun.
I don't understand it.
Because I don't know, maybe I don't know how you don't feel it, but I just feel like there's a chemical connection between black people and the sun. Like, do you not just feel like you feel so much more like confident? You feel like you have more motivation, you feel more inspired when you're in the sun.
Do you feel that way?
I feel like that way. Like, I feel like whenever I go home, there is just this connection of just like, this is where I was always supposed to be.
I get what you mean to an extent. I just think maybe the heat is a bit overbearing sometimes.
Get AC, babe. Why do you think I'm working so hard? I want that AC. But I really want to. I think maybe as well, but maybe it's, and I'm not saying that, you know, every country is perfect, because it's definitely not. But I maybe I went through high school. I want to grow my kids up around a majority black country as well. And stuff like that. So I want to get out of the UK. So that's why I'm working so hard. So that, and so does my